All right. First, start off with a COVID update. With a screenshot from the dashboard. That dashboard, again, is up and running. It has been for some time. I know we're looking at trying to modify it to get a little bit better of a mobile-friendly version. But Luis Martinez is very, very busy in GIS. So we do have this on desktop. You can access it from your phone. You just have to turn your phone sideways and to get a little bit better of a picture. Right now, we have a total of 1,702 total cases, and regrettably, we have 57 deaths related to COVID-19. You can see on the graph that for today, those cases are up 7 from yesterday. As a reminder, the governor extended his phase 2 executive order through Friday, September 11th. The statewide mandatory mask mandate remains intact. Bars are not allowed to sell alcohol for on-premise consumption, and all public gatherings are restricted to 50 people. During today's press conference, Governor Edwards gave no indication of what will happen after the current order expires on Friday, but he did say a decision would be made soon. The St. Charles Parish COVID dashboard, again, is live on our website, and that's www.stcharlesparish-la.gov/COVID-19. As you know, Tropical Storm Marco and Hurricane Laura prevented us from having our last council meeting. The days and weekend leading up to the storm, Public Works crews worked diligently with our EOC to ensure that we were prepared. We were cleaning catch basins, canals, ditches, picking up bulk debris throughout the parish, and checking on all of the pump stations. We were the first parish to open our sandbags locations, and with the help of Park and Recreations, we managed to man those locations and ensure that the residents who were coming there were St. Charles Parish residents. Public Works also delivered some sandbags to some elderly residents as well, with the help of Recreation as well. If you did receive sandbags or you went out and made sandbags, we do ask that you hang on to them. That way you don't have to go out and get more. The hurricane season is not over yet. In fact, we will be reaching the peak of the season on September 10th. Hurricane Laura came with a chance of storm surge for 4 to 6 feet along the coast of southeast Louisiana, that being over here in the southeast. With that in mind, we went ahead and sheet piled the Parity Canal, where we've been working to put up the Parity Canal gate. So you can see some pictures here of that sheet pile work. If the storm surge, if the storm was going to come more toward St. Charles Parish, we would have taken some other precautions on the other side of the Parity Canal, since it is open on both ends. But we did, even though we didn't have to take the other precautions, we did see a differential on the open side of the canal versus the side that was inside. So the tides were elevated. Aside from that, we got lucky and we saw little to no damage from the storms. 10 days ago, 4 individuals from Waterworks volunteered to leave their families to travel to the affected areas where there were more than 40 water districts without water through a program called LA Warn. Our staff was the only water district from a rural area of Louisiana to assist in restoring water. And when we have been affected by storms in the past, our neighbors were quick to jump in and assist us, and we knew that it was our turn to help those affected by Hurricane Laura. In a few short days, we worked with the United Way to put together a donation drive. And I want to thank all of the volunteers and the recreation staff, as well as the council members who helped come and sort all of those goods and package all of those supplies. Also, with the help of United Way, we have collected more than $3,000 in monetary donations. If you'd like to make a donation for the Hurricane Laura victims through the United Way, you can always go to their website, www.uasc.org/Laura, and that site will be open through the end of the week, and that money will be transferred over to the United Way of Southwest Louisiana. That's where we delivered in Lake Charles last Thursday. United Way of Southwest Louisiana is coordinating a great operation over there. Last week, Public Works began working on the Hill Heights Canal expansion. This work, along with other projects in the area, will improve drainage and drainage conveyance in the Ormond area. They are going to be expanding those canals approximately 10 feet wider than what they are now. After Tropical Storm Marco passed, we were able to visit some ditches next to Shell and Norco. I went out there with Councilman Bob Fisher to just look at what was going on with these neglected ditches. You can see some drone footage on the left there, and on the right you can kind of see what the tree debris. There's a fallen power pole there, all kinds of stuff. So everything you see on the left-hand side of the screen, where you see that bank of grass, that was all trees, and the canal needed some love as far as its contour. So that is proceeding well, and we'll be moving to the north side of Airline Highway here very soon to start improving the conveyance that goes to Trepanier Pump Station. This week, the drainage committees will meet Wednesday and Thursday respectively. Again, the East Bank and West Bank are meeting separately just to have a more focused group. This will be our first meeting, which will be able to provide the group with the opportunity to get to know each other, provide updates on where we are with drainage studies and parish projects, and also to get information back from the committee members on areas of concern in their projects. Also, I think we have our drainage engineers lined up to be at the meeting, so those the members on the drainage committee will be able to speak directly to Principal Engineering and T. Baker Smith, respectively, about drainage concerns, and allow the engineers to put that in their model and to look at those areas when they're working on the master plan. Last week, the Recreation Master Plan Committee met for the first time. The group got to know each other, and the team conducting the study began to collect information as the first step in this planning process. We want to talk about the water bills now. We're in the process of doing a redesign of the water bill to make the water bill more, I guess, easily readable. You can see, hard to see on this here, but right now, what we've added in the meantime, you see the small circle on the top. You actually see the amount of money, the amount of gallons actually used. Before, that information wasn't on there. And then below, even though it's not on this particular one, under the title Consumption History, above that graph, you'll see a brief sentence, or in parentheses, multiply this number by 100 to get your consumption. So on this, it says, what is that? It says 163 for that month. So you multiply that by 100, you get your consumption. So 16,300 gallons of water. So again, we're just trying to make the bill a little bit more transparent so residents can see exactly how much water they're using. And then we'll be looking at other options and meeting with the company that helps us put together this bill to make it even more legible and, I guess, visually appealing for the residents. That way there's no confusion about what they're being charged for. Let's see, financial update. The sales tax collected through July of 2020 year-to-date is approximately, we're down approximately 1.04%. Of that, which was collected through this period of time in 2019. So not too bad, although the school board is expecting a 19% decrease in sales tax for next year. And that's because there's no planned expansions, no turnarounds currently planned. So we're preparing our budget accordingly. Let's see. All right, interviews with 4 teams have been set up to prepare the parishes for the parish's update for the comprehensive land use plan. That is updated every 10 years, so we're coming up on the 2020, which we'll start that process. All the firms are Louisiana groups, and the intent of the 10-year update is to realign the future land use plan and ensure infrastructure planning in accordance with that plan. Fall sports schedules will be released this week, along with protocols for athletes and spectators alike as it relates to COVID-19. On Thursday of this week, RSVP will be offering Painting with a Twist at the community center. The cost to participate is $10. Also happening on Thursday is Senior Census Day. If you need help filling out the census, stop by the community center from 1 to 2:30 p.m. And our public information office will assist you. The deadline to complete the census is September 30th. Again, I want to remind any residents coming to the community center that you will be required to wear a mask, and you will have your temperature taken upon entry. Anybody with a temperature over 100.4 will be turned away as a precaution. Small businesses that have not received funding from the CARES Act may be eligible to receive funding through the Louisiana Main Street Recovery Program. There's still $256 million available in that fund that the Treasury Department has set up as a quick relief option to expedite the process. To see if your business qualifies, we're asking that you go to louisianamainstreet.com. Last week, the CDC director, Dr. Robert Rydell, signed a declaration halting evictions of qualifying tenants through the remainder of the year. So if you need more information about that, please visit the www.cdc.gov. Additionally, we do have job openings. We have a carpenter, electrician, equipment operator 1 and 3, grass cutter, and we're currently looking for a director for waterworks. As you know, Mr. Brew will be retiring later this year. If you believe you qualify for any of these positions, I encourage you to visit our website and apply at stcharlesparish-la.gov. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be launching a campaign to support our local businesses called Let's Take Care of Business. And we encourage all residents to shop local, and the campaign will encourage all residents to shop local and remind them that money spent in this parish at locally owned businesses stays in this parish. The campaign will consist of yard signs, commercials, social media ads. A press release announcing all the details will come out ahead of this campaign. Lastly, here's a quick update on drainage projects. I apologize that we don't have pictures of all of them. We will be giving you a more detailed update, I believe, at the next council meeting when Public Works gives their update, and should have the table of capital projects updated for everybody. And I believe we're looking at doing that quarterly, Miles? Yes. Okay, let me get through these. Okay, first we have AMA Pump Station. The plan is set and is nearing completion. Bidding will commence within the next 2 months. The project will add 2 36-inch pumps with a deck and a bar screen cleaner. Work on clearing ditches along the UP Railroad is continuing. The parish has been aggressively clearing ditches in the old Luling area to improve drainage. The DOTD, at the request of the parish, has cleared ditches on Barton Avenue and Paul Mallard. And actually, over the weekend, they were out on Paul Mallard with their culvert truck blowing those culverts out. So we do thank them for that. The parish has also installed culverts on Barton Avenue along the BNSF tracks as a part of a larger project to improve drainage in this area. Phase 8 of the bank stabilization project on the Dunleith Canal is complete, except for some minor work. The parish will start working on dredging the Cypress Lakes ponds in mid-October to improve drainage from the roadway system, so all the street drainage which goes into those ponds. We have met with the owner and operator of Cypress Lakes. He's aware of this plan, and we're coordinating with him to make sure we have the least amount of impact on not only the course and the aesthetics, but also on the actual business as possible. The parish is also improving the Hill Heights ditches, as we talked about earlier, and they can convey more water. The parish will also improve a pipe crossing at the entrance of the nursing home to increase capacity and reduce a hydraulic head loss. We'll have to work with the Shriners, as we'll have to make a temporary access through their parking lot on their property as well to allow that project to commence. The parish has worked with BLD for those ditches in Norco to remove debris and overgrowth, as well as improve the conveyance of those ditches. The survey and geotechnical work are mostly complete for the 5 projects being designed to improve conveyance to the Destrehan #2 pump station. So that's coming along nicely. The project to increase the pumping capacity at Scheck-Snyder Pump Station has been bid. The approval of the low bid is on the council agenda for tonight. The parish is nearing the completion of the project to clear debris along the CN Railroad west of Ormond Boulevard. The parish will be evaluating further projects in this area to stabilize the canal banks after this project is complete. Work on the Cooley Canal near CC Road and clear debris. We're working on finishing that project to clear the Cooley Canal and remove debris to improve drainage through the canal. And then design work on the repairs to the Spillway Road are nearing completion, and we'll be moving forward that project afterward. That's all I have for now.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. Ms. Belloc.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Jewell, I just have a question. I see that you said we have a total of 57 COVID people or deaths in St. Charles Parish. Do you have a breakdown of each district of that 57?
I would have to go back and look. We do get data from the state that comes to the EOC that is used for 911 communications, just so they can alert an officer if they're going to a home that's COVID positive. I know that they do have the addresses of the deceased in there as well. I'll have to talk to GOSEF to see if we are allowed to give that out even by you talking about council district?
Exactly.
I'll work to see if I can get you that. I don't think that would be a problem to at least just give you a number. Yes.
Thank you.
HIPAA might hold you back on that.
Well, I think as long as we don't give out addresses.
Right. Our names.
Yeah,
That's good.
I don't know if the deaths are broken down by zip code.
I don't need to know names or
Right.
addresses. I just want to know how many in my district.
Correct, and just to add a little bit to that too, the data that we've been getting from GOSEP has been fluctuating, if you will. Even the numbers that we get from Pam, who's our director with GOSEP, sometimes there's negative, sometimes they're adjusting. So there seems to be something happening at the state level with some of the numbers that is even causing a little bit of a delay or discrepancy in some of them. So over the last 2 weeks, we've seen some negative numbers throughout the region just for different adjustment purposes. So the zip code part of the dashboard is not being updated as frequently because we're not getting that information as quickly as we were getting it before. And to President Jewell's point, we can check to see if the fatalities are in there. But if nothing else, we should be able to provide that by zip code.
Thank you.
Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Regarding the Louisiana Main Street Recovery Grant Program, I believe the state did change the eligibility requirements to where if a business had received the Paycheck Protection Program funding, that they could still possibly be eligible for Louisiana Main Street Grant Program funding. So I would encourage any business owners who may think they're eligible to check out the louisianamainstreet.com to just see if you're eligible. It's quite possible you might be. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fonseca. Ms. Gordon?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. In reference to the Public Works, is there any upcoming work that's going to be done in District 1?
So we're very hopeful that we're going to get the drainage impact analysis, the drainage master plan back for District 1 sometime before the end of this year. That'll give us more indication of exactly as far as capital improvements go, what can be done. But we're still continuing to go through District 1. We've gone through and made sure jack and bores along the railroads stay cleared. We've been going in and changing out old culverts, sweeping ditches where necessary. So maintenance improvements are continuing. I know that we've had the discussion about Hawn Street and King Street in that area. I've requested that Mr. Palamone go to start looking at acquiring a right-of-way for a canal there, like what was originally proposed. And hopefully that can use relief, but we'd like to know exactly how big we need to make it and whatnot based off of the model from the study, but capital improvements will be coming.
Okay. And one other question. I know River Road is a state road, but there are some clogged up culverts that need to be cleaned, but I'm told because it's a state road, it can't be cleaned, but when it rains, it's flooding, and that's the reason why it's flooding. So is DOT gonna come and clean it, or can we clean those, clogged up ditches and culverts that are on a river road?
I think this is an area where we're trying to work with the DOTD and come to an agreement where we can go clean them. At this time, we don't have that agreement in place yet. We've requested some of those things to be cleaned. As I said, I think Mr. Jewell and myself and Mr. Palamone are talking to DOTD about the possibility that the parish can take care of those things if they're not capable of getting to them at that time. Because they do have a lot of work to do, and they have, I think, one culvert truck for 6 parishes, whereas we have several in this parish. So if we, we're working on that with them, and I'm hopeful that we can come to that agreement soon.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Fisher?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Bingham, I guess my question is the same thing. We had DOT go out and look at the River Road from Airline Highway along River Road all the way to the Parish line. Submitted some stuff back from the council secretary stating that, hey, yes, there's a problem, but we've seen no action on it. I know you and Ms. Palamone have been following up on it, but with the continued Spillway Road being out of service and the amount of traffic that's going through there, is there any way that we could possibly put some more pressure on these guys to get them to come out there and at least start taking a look at that? We've got the bicycle path now going on, a full contractor. We've got some culverts for the crossing being installed. The contractor's installing them at the correct depth, doing that, but when the ditches are not maintained, I don't want more water from the levee going on there. And then also coming back into the River Road along Norco, we kind of think about that as, we had the project at Prospect to increase the water flow, and all it seemed to have done is put more water on Prospect. Is there something that we can do to help the DOT? Maybe possibly have one of our engineers take a look at this and maybe present a plan to them and see if they'll approve us to do this kind of work?
The answer to your question is there's always things that we can do. I mean, we can look at their project, their streets and propose projects to work with them on. I think our first step is, again, we're trying to work with them to get agreements in place where we can do maintenance work when they can't get to it. I think that's the most critical thing we can do that can help us in that regard. Doing projects on their roads is much more difficult. You usually have to get a state project authorized, and then they usually run the project through their design process. So we can work towards that, but it's not something that we're going to we can take the lead on.
All right. My next question would be for you. As far as principal with the East Bank Master Drainage Plan, I know they reviewed the months plan, and I know they're working in the Norco area. Do we have anything preliminary from them? Have they gave us anything back saying what we're doing is helping, what they want us to continue to do, or any other projects that they might say, hey, you guys can go fix this right now while we're completing this?
Okay, so on I'll start with months. They've looked at the months plan. They may have some additional items that they might ask us to do on that, but for the most part, we're moving forward with a lot of the things that were already in the months plan. So that one is fairly well underway. We have projects that are identified and that we are doing. Some will be done with parish forces. Some will be done through design engineering plans. So you will see those coming. In Norco, that plan wasn't that far along, so we didn't really have anything defined. And through our own observations and work, we have done things like cleaning out some of the ditches that we see that were overgrown, trying to look at possible ways to get more water out to the pump station at Trepanier. And that is what we can do right now. is look at how we can improve things moving forward as we can see it. New projects, it's hard to say a new project because you stand as much chance of changing something for the worse if you're not careful. So it would be better let them run their analysis and do their work, and for us to clean ditches and make sure that we can get as much water to where we think it needs to go as we can. And I can give you an example of something that we are looking at is that canal that runs right along the guide levee for the Bonnie Carey that goes out to Trepanier. There are a lot of pipe crossings there. And we're looking at we're going to try and get all the location and depth of each one of those pipes. That could help us a tremendous amount moving forward in possibly dredging that canal out and establishing a way that we can do that consistently and know where those pipes are by establishing depths. So that's something that we are working on now and will continue to work on.
Yeah, I want to thank y'all for all the work you've been doing. I know it's been a lot. The residents of River Village, River Point, they appreciate it. New Sarpy, both sides of tracks. The Norco Good Hope side, what's going on in months. I know it's been a lot. It's been a big, major undertaking, but people see we're serious about it, and I just want to keep it going. So anything that I can do to help, let me know.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Next